So this election on so many levels is binary. Two guys who actually not only don't trust women, but are literally running on a platform of authoritarianism and misogyny. That literally should be their slogan, because that's what it is. So you want, people who literally are outwardly misogynistic in their policies and the way they talk about women and the policies in which they have already enacted and have talked about enacting, or Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. It's completely binary. God, this would be a perfect time for a "we're not going back." And we're not. We're not going back.
We're all used to seeing political spouses out on the presidential campaign trail, but we have never really seen a political spouse quite like Doug Emhoff. That has also been an important part, or an interesting part of how people have talked about your role here, is how your role has reshaped the perception of masculinity. And I'm not sure you planned on that, but you are an incredibly supportive spouse. Has that been an evolution for you? And do you think that's part of the role you might play as first gentleman?
It's funny, I've started to think a lot about this. I've always been like this. My dad was like this. And to me, it's the right thing to do.
There's a pop culture phrase, wife guy, which you've kind of been known as. Are you familiar with this?
I've heard about it.
As called a wife guy, a proud wife guy? How do you feel about that?
Well, if I do something annoying to Kamala and she gets upset, I'll just show her that article. Right. And I'll say, I'm trying.
Or a t-shirt or a mug.
Yeah.
Awkward. So that's my reveal.
I mean, the thing about Doug is that he is exactly who he is.
America must trust women. Well, we trust women. We trust women.
We need to be a nation that trusts women.
Can we just talk about masculinity for a moment? Has being second gentleman changed your own view of perceived gender roles, or what it means to be a man?
This is something I've thought about a lot, and something I've spoken about a lot. There's too much toxicity, masculine toxicity out there, and we've kind of confused what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine, where you've got this trope out there that you've got to be tough and angry and lash out to be strong. It's just the opposite. Every time I can speak against this toxicity, we're seeing it with our younger people, we're seeing it in our discourse, in our politics, in the media, you're seeing it as it relates to so many of the issues that we're pushing back on. So I think it's a problem, and I'm going to continue to use this platform every time I get to speak out against this toxic masculinity that's out there.
This masculine idea of what a man is that's out there that is just not correct. And that's something that you really see when you're doing this. And it's something I just want to push back on.
That's so funny.